Got my feet up.
Relaxing.
Just relaxing.
Chilling out.
Sunday.
Relax.
Easy as Sunday afternoon, boys.
Dude, I shouldn't have pulled
Hey,
this
girl.
chick up. I shouldn't have pulled this chick up.
I thought you didn't like her.
No, we were talking about before the pod. Well, she's just I told you, she's a waste of a hot chick. She's just giving it to any retard that wants it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Gigi Dolan. You're so just out the top. But
You're just saying you're a poser. That's all.
I shouldn't have brought this up. Now I'm going to be distracted thinking about her.
She does look like a good wrestler.
Yeah. No, we were just talking about how Gigi Dolan was just giving it up for Darby Allin being a retard throwing hot sauce on his dick. Made me mad.
Jealous. Made you jealous. Made you jealous.
What? Mad, jealous is the same fucking thing.
Yeah. It's like, red-haired people should be together.
Whatever, dude. I felt irrational anger over a girl I'll never fucking meet.
It happens to me all the time. I'm just like one of those things of like, you don't respect her. You don't deserve her.
You don't fucking get her the way I would get her, dude.
You're talking about me watching Lita wrestle my entire childhood. You know what I'm saying? My entire childhood watching Lita I'm just like, there's no way they can love you the way I would love you.
I just sending fucking Stacy Keibler messages being like, you don't fuck the boys don't get you. I get you.
Yeah. They're just gonna fucking 3D you one day. Okay?
I
would never 3D you.
I would lay you on that table. They're just gonna throw you through that table.
I would lay you gently on that table and make love to you until it breaks. I would break it when I laid on top of you.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was just being a fucking.
We're just talking about romanticizing wrestling divas. That's all. Don't worry.
We're just talking about falling in love with people on the TV. Anyway, welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Leg. I'm your host Andy Malafrio. With me as always, the late great Pat, the Grateful Judge George. Pat, how are you doing, you son of a bitch? You wanted to talk about because we're getting to the end of going on with this Every Time I Die nonsense. You were talking about what could be in store for the future.
Yep.
Of Andy and Pat doing full album reactions.
Yeah, we have a list. We have our independent list that we're going to be doing bands of our own, but we also have a list of considerable, let's say, honorable mentions, considerations for the thing. I wanted to throw one past you to gauge your interest, maybe also the chat's interest, because the next solo one I'm going to be handling the Mutoid Man one by my own. But I wanted to see if you wanted to venture down the catalog of Thrice with me. I didn't know your opinion on Thrice, but I've been noticing things lately. I've been kind of listening to more of their albums again lately.
How many do they have?
Actually, I don't know total, but I know at least 4 good ones. At least 4 good ones. And I don't know if you would say also they also have an EP collection that they released as 2 doubles essentially. So I don't know if you would count those, how you would want to chop it up, or they're very, very much yes. Tony is excited. What? Lots?
Yeah, they have a lot.
But also there's some live ones in there. Would we do the live ones? We do the, you know what I mean?
No.
Best ofs. They have a couple of those too. They have best ofs. They have like multiple. They fucked up their House of Blues live album, so they redid it again. They did.
Looks like they got 11 studio albums.
Just studio alone, not even live or anything like that. Best ofs.
Yeah, maybe. Thrice would be an interesting. I'll be honest, I'm not super emotionally invested in Thrice. I really like The Illusion of Safety, and that was the only album I really got deep into. But also at the same time, Thrice is a historically interesting band to go through, because they've had a they're a good band to look at. They're a good band to look at where you go from album to album, and they have one of the most drastic shifts in sound.
Yeah. Yes. And that's one thing that I noticed, because I feel like last week I listened to the re-release of the Artist in the Ambulance that they did. And then last night I was the follow-up album Visu that they released right after that. I was like, what the fuck were these guys thinking?
Yeah,
it was like one of those things of like, you went from that to this. Like, that's a big leap. That's not like easing your toe into anything. That's going from this to this, and it's crazy. I respect the leap, and I actually, it's as of right now, probably my favorite Thrice album. But it's interesting to see the leaps, the growth in that band over time,
Yeah.
especially having almost, I believe, all of their original members, I think for the most part, except for from the first to the other ones. But if you're not as emotionally invested, or if you're not interested, I do see some interest, at least in the chat. You can pound off in the comments if you would be interested. I know Thrice has, but also I wonder if I'd be able, would that get flagged? Do you think?
They've never that's so interesting. They've never had a lineup shift.
Yeah. I think maybe from first album, or like when the band started, I think it was something different because
Well, you always
Riley,
gotta give them a pass on that like first album because they're
yeah,
all like sometimes people get so detailed where they'll be like, so this was the starting, and then they put out a self-produced EP in high school, and then it got shifted,
yeah,
and you're like, what is it after the first studio album? It doesn't
yeah,
really matter before the first studio album.
yeah. So I think that would be, I think that would be one that I would get more out of, because I know that I kind of drifted a little bit from them, but they've always been kind of a band that's really been a big part of my listenership. So I think so maybe I'll do Thrice. I'll do that on my own.
I don't know. Let me listen to them a little bit. That might be one because I don't really have a lot that's popping into my head that I like desperately want to do at the moment and shit like that. I will say this. I would like to wait till you and me can get into the same room before we do them together again.
Uh-huh.
I would like to wait till that because I just feel like cuz like I know when I do them on my own and I'm able to like start and stop them cuz when we're doing it over this it's real clunky to constantly start and stop it. You just kind of have to let the whole song play.
Yeah.
And I know when I do them on my own, there's some sort of it's like I can get deeper into the songs and I can flow a little better if I'm able to sort of like stop at specific moments and this and that. And I feel like when we do them together, they'll come out so much better if we can do that.
Yeah.
So I almost personally and it's not going to be like a long wait and we'll be able to do full videos on our own and shit like that until then. So I think it might be a good idea to just wait till we're able to get into the same room together to do this shit.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Thrice would be a good one. I saw someone was tweeting at me. I forget if I sent it to you or not. Someone was tweeting at me about possibly doing Between the Buried and Me, which I would also be excited to do that with you because they're a band I like, but they're a band that you love.
Yeah, for sure. That's like, these are two bands that I have a couple band tattoos, and they're kind of like, they're definitely bands that are on my top 5, list for sure. Like most of the band tattoos I have are my kind of lifelong loves. So Thrice is definitely one of those that like over time I've loved a lot. Like growing up, all of the albums from my youth until like early adulthood were, to me, bangers from Thrice. I just loved it. And then after that, it was kind of a pick and choose. It's like but I always check in. These are the bands that I'm always going to check in on. Like Every Time I Die, NoFX, Thrice, all these bands are ones that I'm like, if they put something out, I'll get the Unearth is another one. Like bands that are like that, when they put something out, I'm like, oh shit, and I'll check it out and I'll listen to it. And almost always there's something in the album, if not the whole album. Like Strung Out just put out an album. The one that they just put out was pretty good. I really like it. But the one that they put out right before that was like, holy shit, this is like fucking incredible from start to finish. Mm-hmm. So the bands can still do that. If they're your favorite bands, they're always going to be, as long as there's something in there. And Thrice, especially with them being the same members over the years, personality wise, if you connected with them at any point, especially as much as I did for that string of albums, and then out of nowhere maybe we lost connection a little bit, I'm still gonna check in to be like, hey guy, where are you guys at? And be like, oh shit, are you guys doing country now?
Yeah, I felt that with Sum 41 because they were one of my favorite bands, and then when they lost their guitarist, they put out like one or two pretty heavy stinkers, and then they got their guitarist Dave. They got him back in the band, and then they pumped out like one or two really good albums. Yeah, I know we were shitting on their latest shit, but they were a band that had a sort of rise and dip kind of going on throughout the years. I was actually just listening to Sum 41, And dude, some of the metal shit they were doing on Chuck was so goddamn good. You
Yeah.
know who would be a band I'd like to go through their discography with you is I'm pretty sure you like them, but Newfound Glory. Because when you were saying about Thrice, like the shifting in sounds and stuff, Newfound Glory did that a lot, and they actually had an interesting thing where they went from being this band that everyone tried to sound like, and then pop punk had this sort of slightly hardcore influence get before, because like all pop punk now is kind of that Midwest emo shit. Which I'm not even saying that shit on it. I'm just, that's how I talk. But a lot of pop punk now is that Midwest emo stuff. But there was a time period where you'd have bands like Set Your Goals and shit like that who sort of were bringing in hardcore influences to pop punk. And it was kind of funny because all those bands were clearly inspired by Linkin Park. They were clearly inspired by Newfound Glory. And then Newfound Glory, they were kind of the old school pop punk, so they weren't as popular. They started interweaving these new influences into their music to try to sound a little more fresh. So it's this weird thing of like, you inspire all these bands, and now these bands are kind of inspiring you to sound more. It's like a weird full circle moment. So Newfound Glory for me would be a really good one, but I'm down with all these bands. Like fucking, I think Thrice will be fun. Between the Buried and Me will be fun. Newfound Glory will be fun.
Yeah, I think at this point I have the list somewhere of the ones that we were talking about doing in the future, but like these are all ones that are like, so Newfound Glory was never really one that was on my hit list. I never loved them. I don't even think I really liked them technically. So like but I'm definitely open to listening to them because they're not like I'm more open to, I think, more music now anyway. But the list that we had already, it looks like, was Brand New. We're doing Every Time I Die right now. Norma Jean. Under Oath, which is interesting because that was another band that I didn't really know a lot about, surprisingly enough, from them being a Florida band. And then also Poison the Well was the suggestion I think that I had. So I'm happy to do Norma Jean and Poison the Well. I know I can handle on my own, but I'm happy to have you on there. But I think the next one I'm going to be focusing on is Mutoid Man, because it seemed like I remember at least at the time that was somebody suggested like, hey, you should do that, because I am definitely passionate. I have very strong feelings about them. If you ever want to join me on one, you can, but you won't be in the room with me because of the restraining order. So exactly. Guys, and don't forget, if you guys like the vibe, hit subscribe. We love you.
Actually, no, Pat's good doing that fucking dumb bullshit that everyone does. Definitely, if you like it, tell someone about it, subscribe, hit the like button, do all that
and
shit.
Seriously, those suggestions, because I feel like the more at first, like, so I like, you doing it solo definitely is different, and I'm sure I'm gonna find my own way to have it. It'll be a little bit different. Mine will look a little bit different than yours and all this other stuff, but it's interesting because I had to get that idea of like, how would I do this on my own? The starty stoppies helps too, being able to stop or talk over the music or anything. But I feel like I'm interested to find out more about a lot of these bands. I don't want to stay too separate, you know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that we have like that, like a lot of these bands I would like to do together, because Newfound Glory is not one that I'm necessarily
you can
you can help out more. Same thing with Between the Buried and Me. I love that group, and I have a lot of very, very fond memories with especially the fucking album Alaska.
There's certain bands I'd want to do with you just because they're shut the fuck up. There's certain bands I'd love to do with. I'm trying to tell them how I appreciate your opinion. Please shut the fuck up,
Andy. If you don't mind, if you could just shut up real quick.
Yeah, whatever this is, get the fuck over it and shut the fuck up.
Okay.
No, like between, like, I like hearing people tell me about.
No, I was just shutting up. Could you hear that? Sorry.
Was that at me? No, you're just doing that. That's not at me, right?
Oh, this is a new ventriloquist act we're working on. Hey, Andy, drink some water. I'm a
Okay.
dumb fucking piece of shit. Oh, I'm a fucking piece of fucking shit.
Well, that
Oh,
would be me making you say that. You fucking idiot.
damn.
I knew you were gonna do that. Like hearing you set up the joke, I was like, he's not gonna realize what he's doing.
Damn it. Hey guys, I just want to let everybody know that wasn't a bit. That was genuine, Pat.
Oh, that fucking rule, dude.
I gotta be honest. When I strike out, hey.
Well, I was like, he's gonna tell me to move my mouth, and then you were like, drink that.
You had me in your sights the whole time. You're like a sniper, and I was just standing there like a fucking gazelle, like. Huh?
I was just doing my duck call, and you're like, someone need me?
I'm a fucking duck.
Let me go get that duck real quick, dude.
Oh, stay there, duck. I'm coming.
Hey, duck, I'm on my way.
A fucking idiot. I'm so preoccupied about the album Alaska by.
I was gonna say is like one of my favorite things ever is hearing someone who really likes someone describe to me why they like that.
Yeah.
And I know you know a shitload about Between the Buried and Me, Thrice, and Poison the Well specifically. What was there was a fourth one you were talking about.
Brand new.
That's one we both know a lot about them.
I think you might know a little bit more, but from Dom, just from osmosis, from how much she fucking loves it. She might even she might just take the mic for those. Actually, you might listen to Brand New and cry with Dom.
It's just gonna be me calling him a rapist and her going, "Shut up! Shut the fuck up!"
I understand. I would have done it.
Nah, it's all good. I had some friends in.
Literally said that, by the way. I
remember being in high school, just like. I mean, it wouldn't have been rape with my friends. They were obsessed. Would it be grooming? Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But also, would it be welcomed? Totally.
It's a touchy subject. Anyway, I think he did nothing wrong, is what I'm trying to say. The lead singer of Brand New did nothing wrong, is what we're trying to say. Sitting in on, like, hearing you go over the details of, like, Poison the Well, Between the Buried and Me, Thrice, that would be fun, even if, like, because I think I'd be more locked in musically for Poison the Well and Thrice. I'm sorry, Poison the Well and Between the Buried and Me, but I would still have fun on the Thrice one. I'm just predicting the tail end of their albums I'm not going to like, but I also have no fucking idea what they sound like. I'm just assuming, actually.
Like from first listenings, even back then, being like Beggars was good. That was the last one that they put out. That was like,
know the thing about Beggars though.
What's that now?
It's like you can't be choosers. You out, dude? Are you out? He took the earphones out. I think. All right. So I'm Andy Malfrina. This is gonna be a live suicide. Pat, come back.
Who, me?
Yes, please, for the love of God, come back.
Me?
All right, you want to get into some topics?
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of good topics.
I'm excited to get on topics with my friend, the topic king, Andy Malfrina.
It's hard to figure out exactly where to start because we kind of forgot to. It's crazy. Our fucking bread and butter of what kind of like got us famous.
Are we going to be able to go to my pit police, not pit police, but pit evidence? I don't even know what to call that, but we'll
be able to do whatever we want, dude.
That's my only request. I know that you had a full docket, but like if that's not on it, if we can just make a little room for
that. I know.
It's
completely. Pat, the pit police will take on the case, but the Warped Tour Special Victims Unit also needs to do a lot of work today.
I forgot.
Well, no,
this has been on our desk for a while.
Yeah, we've been kind of ignoring this case. You know, they talk about how there's like hundreds of unanalyzed rape kits. It's because of us.
Yeah, this is our bad. Sorry, guys.
Well, no, I mean, we kind of forgot to talk about it when it was a little more topical. Like the podcaster in me wants to focus on topical shit, but it's kind of, like I said, considering what got us famous.
Yeah, when is this not topical though? This you know what I mean? Like give it a week.
But we forgot to talk about it like a week or two ago when it happened, but Tillian is officially out of Dance Gavin Dance.
Officially.
Because that was it.
Tentatively.
I gotta be honest, like with how much we talked about Tillian, we sort of cut our teeth in those episodes.
Yeah.
Really made our bones, got It's really depressing what episodes have the most views. I'll just put it that way.
I'll tell you what, that is truly when the lake got drug.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I'll put it this way: anti-flag. Let's give me something else. The views are low.
Guys, you guys just fucking ducked out and left. You didn't even give us any meat. There's no meat on that bone.
1 week of that shit.
You
1
took
week of that shit.
all the meat. There was still meat on that bone. We could have fucking plucked right off of that.
We were able to milk
go,
Dance Gavin. We were able to milk Dance Gavin Dance for like a month, and you guys are out of there in one fucking day.
I had this whole fun thing where I was going to be you on the stand, where you're calling her a turncoat, liar, thief, and it's like, you didn't even give us the satisfaction of having a trial, man. Come on.
You raped my butt. No,
she's
so
a liar.
Thief of my innocence. So Tillian is officially out of the band, which is the most. This has to be the most interesting way to like kick a dude out of the band for doing what he did. And we've talked about it before. I reminded myself of all the info. Basically, I think correct me if I'm wrong. I know you were like, all of it was good to go, but my general assessment, you were like, you're like, grass on the field, play ball. I was like, Pat, how's this apply?
I was honestly, it sounds like me, but I don't remember saying that. But I guess you know what, I can't rule it out.
No, I guess I'll be straight up. My general vibe on the situation. I read all the testimonies and the post everyone was doing.
All of the proceedings, yes.
Yeah, it felt like the first occurrence while he wasn't being the chillest of dudes.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not gonna. The first one didn't seem like I'm gonna really, lock him up and throw away the key. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But then the second one,
you're getting a yellow card, right?
Yeah. There was enough gray area that I was like, I can't put him away for this one.
But honestly, we're watching you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. We're like, we got our eye on you.
That's the best way to put it. It's too gray. I don't got enough to lock you up. But we're keeping an eye on you, and
honestly, we're gonna keep you. We're gonna keep surveillance on you, so because you're a flight risk. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. They're like, we're gonna have a car tailing you, but you're not guilty. It's like when they do that shit, and you're like, wait, isn't that what you do to guilty people? And you're like, we don't think you're guilty, but you're not guilty.
Yeah, and then the second one, because this is the thing. A lot people only remember the one. There was actually two at the time, but the reason people don't remember the second one is because contrary to how he handled the first one he was like, I got a whole book for you explaining why this bitch is lying.
Dude, this whole it wasn't like a 2-page thing,
bro. It was like a thick pamphlet's worth of information.
Yeah.
So on the second one, he was like, I'm really sorry and I apologize. And you're like, oh, that was a lot less info.
Yeah. You ain't got no more details?
You don't got any details about how you didn't do it.
Now, if I could be devil's...
Bro, May so fucking hard on me.
Can I just be a little devil's advocate for you? Hooah! I'm devil's advocate. Okay?
Thank you.
If I'm being devil's advocate for you, I'm what did maybe possibly he learned from that first post that's not how you fucking handle it. You just go and you go, sorry, bye. I have to officially say that I didn't do it, but also, or is this a rope-a-dope thing where just all these sexual assaults just keep fucking hitting him against the ropes and he just can't do anymore, and like he's basically been fighting it so much that now he's fucking so tired that they're just like, oh yeah, he also raped me, and then he's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like he can't defend himself anymore because he's just like, I can't keep, I don't have everything, and also maybe I was drunk and maybe it was this seems like the one that he would be like, hey, I can't remember. You might have to refresh my memory. I apologize about the past one. Did he do any kind of rehab at the time? Was he in a substance rehab?
That was the funniest part. Because all the accusations were like, hey man, you're a sexual assaulter, what the hell is that? And Tillian was right, you know what, you're right. I apologize. I will go to rehab for alcohol. And you're like, that's not what
rehab. So yeah, he did the big apology and he played the rehab card already. So he doesn't have any more. He has nothing else. He can't. So so this actually, and if I may, and he's this court of public opinion at this point. This is only allegations and all accusations, speculation, if I may. Johnny Cochran, yeah, devil's advocate. Ooh-ah! I'm still
Pat,
doing it,
I love you. Get to the fucking point.
but I forgot it. That's why. Yeah.
I got a few other voices to do first, Andy.
But he has nothing. He has nothing else. Is what I'm saying. He's basically played all of his elements, and like this is if you call what is it? Trick me once, fool me once, you get shame on me, but fool me twice. It's like I think you might be a salter.
Here's my theory. I think the first one, I think the gray area. I think it was a lot of gray area. Like a lot of gray area. And I think Tillian looked at that and goes, you got no fucking case.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I think the girl was like, I have a very good case. But she's like, I'm not going to press charges. And he's just trying to be like, I'm going to be so nice to you and keep you happy. That's just I have no clue if that's reality. That's my assessment off the information I receive. But
do you think they know more than us? Like, do you think there is
the people involved know more than us?
Well, no, not that. I'm saying Dance Gavin Dance. Like, do they?
100%.
They probably were. They like, buddy.
They're probably.
And he's like,
I'm gonna be straight up. They're probably going purely based off what will get them in the most trouble.
Yeah. They're just like, you know what, dude? You're just at this point, you're just a liability. You know what I mean? Like we can't. Yeah. You're going to be doing this. You need to get help. Go get help. You're out of the band. We can't. And we can't have this thing where like maybe you'll be back. Maybe.
Well, here. Let's slow down a little bit because we also got to include let's slow down from the actual kicking him out because this is what makes him getting kicked out so interesting. Okay. Is because when it first initially happened, remember he was like, I'm gonna go to fucking. Everyone was like, "Hey, we're really mad you sexually assaulted a girl," and he was like, "I got it. I'll go to alcohol abuse rehab.
Right, I'm gonna quit drinking. You're absolutely right.
You're right. I will quit drinking, and that's the problem we're talking about is my drinking." And everyone was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Don't worry.
Can't hear you in rehab. Can't hear you. Bye. We're not allowed to have phones here. Sorry."
And so they were,
but I can't.
And they were all like, "He's healing." And then they did the tour with their new guitarist. And I talked about this on the full album reaction I did for Jackpot Juicer. And I always found it very interesting. It's like, dude, it's like Tillian wrote those lyrics knowing he was gonna fuck up. Because they have a lot of lyrics about don't turn your back on your friends, and there's a lot of lyrics you can equate to cancel culture and all this other interesting stuff. And I really do think that had some element to do with it where they went about it the certain type of way. And then they brought him back in for another tour. Like when it kind of died down a little bit, they kind of quietly brought him back in for another tour. And then they're kind of letting it die down. And I just find it very interesting that because I'm curious what you think about this, but because I can't tell. I'm like, kicking him out in this way later, it was you're almost like, were they planning on kicking him out the whole time? But because he's a long-term friend, they're going, we're going to try to do it in a softer way that may not fuck you as hard.
Yeah, this almost seems like we have to stop enabling this behavior kind of thing. We're doing this for your own good move. You know what I mean? Not this doesn't. So the stuff with the rehab, the stuff with all that other stuff was maybe it felt like I don't know at the time of Tillian being abandoned by them by saying you take care of your stuff. You still have a place in the band, but you just handle what's going on. We have you. We got your back. We still want to release.
You think that's being abandoned?
No. I wonder if he thought that was being abandoned. You know what I mean? So maybe there was a bit of a resentment already there. And then when this comes up, maybe there was some kind of resentment building between them, but not necessarily resentment in the way of we hate you now. It's this thing of I'm tired. So
You're a liability.
I've dealt with addiction in my families before. There's people that have been to the point.
You and donuts, right?
Not just that,
airport donuts.
Yeah, airport donuts, gas station, rest stop donuts, anything. But also with like people with like pills and shit and like other shit, where they're like, they just end up, it sucks to say, because like I'm obviously more heartless of a human being, or cold hearted, maybe logical thinking in a lot of cases, but like they just really become pieces of fucking shit, dude. Like
Mm-hmm.
they, like your most loved one. I get why most people can't stop helping their family in those cases, but when the more you're helping them, the more you're actually just continuing that behavior. And maybe the band solved that and was like, you gotta fucking go, dude. And we're and
Yeah, maybe.
we can't have this open, because they maybe feel like he rushed his, like, I don't, it doesn't even sound
See,
like he doesn't, it doesn't sound like he necessarily, the problem is just his substance abuse problems. He does have actual issues with, maybe he does need help, and also maybe there he does need to be investigated,
can
like
I
if this
say
is it,
this?
because something is leading to this. But either way,
Here,
them
here,
like supporting him and standing behind him may just be enabling this
nah,
behavior.
nah, nah. Here's what I think it is. Because I don't think it's anything about like substance abuse or anything. Because like
No.
Dance Gavin Dance as a whole is like on record as dudes who like to get fucked up. Like they constantly talk about smoking weed and doing coke and stuff like that. And this isn't me shitting on their bassist, but their bassist died from fentanyl because he was doing coke. And I got no problem with people doing coke. I'm not even like shitting on that. I'm just saying Dance Gavin Dance has a track record of partying and shit like that.
Right.
I think what it more so is Dance Gavin Dance going like, dude, you're too much of a fucking liability to us.
Yeah.
You know, but you're our friend, so we'll kick you out in a way that has better optics. We won't make it look like we just turned on you the second it happened. We'll do a slow roll on kicking you out. So I'm wondering, were they planning on kicking him out from day fucking one?
I don't know, because why wait until this second accusation comes out? Like, were they just like, next one, like you're on a final written notice and next fucking thing?
No, I'm not saying it was a warning. I'm saying rather than we'll kick you out immediately, because that kind of looks impulsive, like you're not being a good friend. I'm saying like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this to hopefully, and I'm not saying they necessarily even succeeded with this. I'm more saying like what their plan was. Well, like, you'll go to rehab, we'll do a tour with you, we'll keep good optics, and then when we're kind of taking a break after a couple months, we'll just quietly kick you out of the band.
Right.
And I'm wondering if they're like, I'm just curious if they decided this a while ago, or that's like my only question.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting, just if that was the case, why wait for the second accusation to come out before you, like, unless just to say like we know something else is going to come out. So
you keep saying about the second accusation that came out during the whole thing. It's not like it's okay. I didn't realize the second accusation didn't come out like last week.
I thought that was the thing. Like that came out.
No.
You're out. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize I didn't make that clear enough from the get go. Second accusation was like around the same time.
Oh, then yeah. Then yes, your theory I agree with, because that's the thing of like, I thought maybe this just came out and I was like, I thought maybe the reaction was them going like, buddy, like we fucking had your back the last one.
That makes way more sense, because I was feeling crazy. Like, am I not explaining this right?
Yeah, you literally weren't.
And I wasn't.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you figured it out.
And I'm not.
Cat, you fucking dickheads. No, I think I agree. I think that's the thing of like when you have that reaction after months of nothing and just out of nowhere, just to be like, okay, yeah, now you're fired. Like, either something else came out, maybe they had an agreement, they said you're not getting better, you're a piece of shit, whatever it is. But I think your theory could totally be the case too, because at that point, let's just say timing wise, for where the band was at that time, they had this big triumphant tour coming up. They had this new album that was coming out that we're all really proud of. It was also going to be dedicated to this member that they lost, that they were like so sad about, that there was no real controversy. It was just drug overdose, hey, but we party, we love this guy, no controversy, no sexual assaults, and then all of a sudden, boom, and it's
Yeah.
like, and they had to like quick fix it. They felt like they did, but then maybe either they felt like they're still getting pressure, and also that would also lend to, this is what I was thinking as you were explaining that. Finally, there was a there was a thing where like maybe that last tour was kind of like them going like, all right, dude, like they knew they were going to kick him out, but they're like, we'll bring you back, you can make some money, like, and then we're gonna fucking kick you to the curb. Because like it might have just been not like a almost like a retirement plan, like, here you go, bud.
Well, and I think also too, like optics matter for like long term, like for this dude staying in the music industry, like optics matter, where it's almost the fact that like they kicked if the fact that they kept him around and then they did more tours with him and all these other bands did tours with him. There's now, I think he's still long term, like, the best he'll hope for is like, I'm guessing the best that'll come from now on is like he's going to be in some moderately popular bands or this and that. I think he's kind of cooked for being in like a big band anymore, because there's a certain point I feel like with, what happens when you fucking Google him, and he didn't get like big before any of this happened. I would be surprised if, any big time bands give him a chance like that. But I could still see him sort of coming out with some smaller acts.
Again, we don't want to give all of our Austin plans away. We can't. I mean, we're streaming live, but you guys are, we're a family.
He'll be the lead singer.
Ooh. We got a drummer. We got a bass player. We got the rhythm section, right?
Rhythm section's already.
He plays guitar, right?
I don't know.
He does now.
Yeah.
How funny would it be for us to hire Tillian but have him play guitar in our band, not sing?
That would be fucking crazy, dude. If we started a band with Tillian.
By the way, where's our first live stream going to be? We're going to do a live stream concert on Rumble.
Yeah, and I don't think we could start a band with him. I'm on record many a time going, he did those things.
Yeah, Andy, what? We're perfect.
Yeah.
What are we, perfect people? Come on, Andy. We all make mistakes multiple times. Assaults are mistakes, right? Isn't that what
we always have?
Is?
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm just saying
I hoped he did it.
Po Buddy's nerfed.
Exactly. So, in that vein, let's keep it moving. To another
in the vein of Pat advocating a most likely sexual assaulter to be in a band with us. On to the next. That
is a great title for the episode, considering the next topic I'm about to hit you with. Po Buddy's nerfed.
Perfect.
No, this next one, it's like a similar topic, but in the complete like reverse. Which I'm kind of happy. Well, I was initially upset. So basically what happened is I've talked about them before. SeeYouSpaceCowboy. I've talked about them to you before. They're a dope hardcore band, sort of bringing back the screamo sound to things. They call themselves sasscore, and they kind of incorporate that high-pitched, sassy screamo vibe to a more hardcore genre. And they just posted this. Oh, wait, that wasn't the original one. I want to show you the original one before the controversy. Let me actually pull up their Instagram.
It was on Instagram they got the controversy?
Yeah, so here's the thing, Pat. Sometimes people post on Twitter, and then they post on Instagram.
Get the fuck out of here. They do both of them?
They do both of them, goddammit.
Both of them?
They do both of them.
Oh shit! Tanya's going to see them tomorrow night with Better Lovers. God damn, Tanya, where are you going to be there? Where you seen that? Tell me the address, and also, do you have an extra ticket? Can I have it? And also some money.
Can you send me money?
Do you have a salami sandwich there? I would love a cold salami sandwich with provolone and like a
Roseville. Are you seeing them in? Oh, he's seeing them in Sacramento.
Jesus, you got a Sacramentite?
Dude, that's a good tour or a good show. I think this is the show he's seeing.
Damn. Oh, you saw it last night too?
Better Lovers, SeeYouSpaceCowboy, Foreign Hands, and Greyhaven. I don't listen to a lot of Greyhaven, but I've heard some of their stuff and it's pretty good.
Wow. Tonya, we're blowing up your spot. Do you have an extra ticket and a plane ticket? Also, and also, could you give me lunch? Yeah, like I really want the salami sandwich. Maybe basil on it too. Fresh basil. Fresh basil. He's not really pounding off about that. He's doing all about the show. He's not the sandwich though. I had
a really good sandwich last night.
That what tell me about it.
It was just really straightforward, dude. It was chicken cutlet. It was a chicken bacon ranch with a little bit of barbecue, cheddar cheese on a
what kind
ciabatta
of bread?
Roll. Ciabatta roll.
You toast that ciabatta?
Got that bitch pressed down in the fucking machine.
I'm so hungry. I've only had oranges and apples today.
Okay, here's the original post. The original post. I really wanted to get the original post up.
Oh,
yeah, so they posted, when was this? April 24th, so like 4 days ago. We're really excited to celebrate the release of Coup de Grace alongside Callous Cowboys, I Hate Omerta, I like that name, and Roman Candles, North American Tour, blah, blah, blah. And then all their fans were like, fuck Roman Candles, fuck them, why are you having Roman Candles? So they were getting pissed. And let me catch you up about Roman Candles, Pat.
Yeah.
Basically, it's hard sometimes to figure out the ins and outs of these cases, but we are the, Law and Order Warped Tour unit. So it's our job to figure out the ins and outs of how these, youngins are fucking.
Yeah. What's this consent nonsense all about?
Hey, it's new to me, but
yeah.
I'll learn what you goofballs are doing.
You're supposed to ask before you do shit like that? What the fuck?
I thought they just liked it. I thought they were just fucking happy to be there.
Hey, man, call me crazy. I thought I believe in romance.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
so just because she's on a fucking period and she's acting like a bitch.
You never been watching baseball, see somebody steal second before I. Okay, so
you never been convinced of fucking me. Sometimes, hey, you don't like it at first, but then a couple pumps in, you're like, hey, this ain't bad. At least
I gotta tell you,
at least he took the knife away from my throat.
Yeah. I was about to identify with what you were saying until you said the knife part, because it was one of those things of it. Yeah, there's been a couple times where it's been like, come on.
No, I've been there before where you're talking up a chick and she's like, I don't want to have sex with you, and you're like,
I think you do.
Get to know me.
Hold on a second.
I'm pretty fun.
Yeah,
I'm a fun guy to be around.
It's like one of those things where they say no. Wait. Let's not just say a no now. Let's just not say no now.
And then at the end of the night, she's like, I think I'm about to fuck this fat retard.
And you're like, see, I told you. It's like I didn't.
Don't count me out,
right? And you don't feel groomed, right?
Yeah.
I just fucking. Is that seduction? What happened? Where is it seduction, Andy, and not grooming?
Oh, I wedged a chair in the doorway. Oh, let's be fucking.
Again, you're connecting.
No, I've had it with these liberals. Andy,
we're not on Rumble right now. This is YouTube.
Oh shit, we're on YouTube. I mean, rape's bad. Oh.
Andy, thank you. That's what we've been saying the whole time, Andy.
My fault. I forgot we were on Rumble.
Let's find.
So basically, what I gathered from the whole Roman Candles thing is their basis when he was like in high school or something. He was in a very toxic relationship, and from what I gathered, it was a real Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation where they're both. Yeah, she shit on the bed. No, the thing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It was like, it just seemed like they were both a bunch of coked up dimwits who just fought each other all the time.
You know what? Watching that trial made me so homesick for Florida, because I was just like, this is Florida. This is except for the fact that she was gorgeous. If she normally in this case, it's Johnny Depp looks exactly the same. That's the guy. And then in the female's case, she looks like a Honey Boo Boo's mother variety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's humongous. And you're just like, what is the connection? How do you fuck? And then you're like, but then It's the exact same arguments. Exact same
But
arguments.
that was the vibe I got with the little info I have, so I could be wrong. But the vibe I got is this bassist was in a toxic relationship, and I think they both just treated each other like shit. Now, that's not saying like, oh, just because a girl hits you, you can fucking knock her out. I'm not saying he did that. I don't know what happened. But I'm just saying I think they were both in a very toxic relationship. But regardless of how you feel about that,
Right.
basically shit came to light that they were like, yo, your bassist is like this. And then Roman Candles was like, okay, bet. And then they immediately kicked him out. Now,
is it Roman Candle or Roman Candles, by the way? I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure.
Looks like it is Roman Candle.
Okay, I didn't know, and I wasn't sure if it, like, I want to make sure. So when I'm referring to them, I just want to be sure.
That's fine. But yeah, so basically they were like, okay, bet this guy roughs up the gals that rough him up. And they immediately kicked him out. Now, I will say, because I remember their lead singer was on, because this is I think it's a similar to Escuela Grind, I think they might suck ass. I don't know, though. Because
like,
that was
it might be shitheads. Like
that, but it's not illegal to be a shithead.
Yeah.
So that's why I think people come at Roman Candle so much. That's why I think people come at Roman Candle so much, is because they already hated him, because I think their lead singer was like a loudmouth know-it-all on fucking Twitter. So then people didn't like her. They had a reason to cancel him, and now they're not letting it go. Because from the surface, it literally just looks like they were like, hey, your bassist is an abuser. And they go, okay, he's out of the band.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, but what are you going to do about it? And you're like, about what?
Yeah, and it just you know, and I'm not just trying to be a pack of fucking dudes in our mid-30s talking about 20 years old drama, but as you know, as a fan of music and this and that, and seeing, you know, you want these good, and Roman Candles is a great fucking band. I'm just gonna call them Roman Candles. I can't not. Roman Candles is.
Well, that was the problem. I didn't know if you were like, Roman Candle is a great band. I didn't know if you were saying that, or if you're like, Roman Candle's a great band. I didn't know which one you were saying. I wasn't trying to call you out. I was literally trying to be like, which one are you saying? Because I could be either one. And I see in the chat here, I didn't know if Tony was full of shit or if you were full of shit. And I wanted to find out. And guess what? Tony, you're not full of shit this time.
All right. We're going to have to get you Adderall. This is crazy.
What? Hold on, let me put my camera here so I don't see.
But no, so like, wait, what was I saying?
You were saying the being an asshole is not a crime. We're not sounding like a couple of 30-year-olds trying to.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be. It's like, I'm not trying to just be like, oh, we're a bunch of dudes in our mid-30s dissecting 20-year-olds drama. It's not that. It's just like, you know. So you get it's just the way that these fans are, that they have. It's like, guys, what do you fucking want from people? You go at people and you go, hey, we don't like this about you. You did this thing that's wrong. Change it. And they go, okay, we'll change it. And then it's just, and it's like, there's no learning from your mistakes. They don't ever get to move on. It's like, no, if Roman Candles does anything, you go, you guys did this fucking thing. So fast forward now, because of that, you see SeeYouSpaceCowboy post this. Wait, where is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
They post this and they go, after hearing your concerns, Roman Candle will no longer be on the tour. Blah, 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 blah. And so they kicked them off the tour. And you're like, dude, if you look at the original fucking post, you know, that's a lot of dates.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of money they're missing out on. They're a new band. Like, SeeYouSpaceCowboy's on the come up. Like, this is going to be and Callous Cowboys is a really good band. This is going to be a tour that they're probably going to like sell out a decent amount of venues and shit like that. Yeah. You know, it's just like, because they fucked up a while ago, now you guys feel emboldened to say they never get to make money ever again. You're like, what fucking standard is this, man?
Yeah, it's not like they're headlining the tour.
Yeah, and I will say, I do give props to there's a lot of people, because on Twitter it was a lot of just good, fucking get them out of here, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people on Instagram were like, what the fuck's going on, man? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of people going like, they fixed the problem. What the fuck are we doing?
I guess the only argument I can be.
Wait, what are you doing right now? Are you playing something, Pat?
I'm being a little bit of a devil's advocate. Ooh, I can't
Like,
see because I'm the devil and I am being an advocate.
I think we should turn together when you do it.
I'm being the devil's advocate right now, but damn it!
It's like when Sub 41 dance with their guitars on stage together.
Yeah, a little bit of choreography goes a long way, my friend. But I was trying to be a devil's advocate for somebody. Oh, for maybe like they thought like the idiot assholes online that are saying you need to never let this person make money, this band make money again, was the fact that you were existing with this asshole this entire time. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they were like, you didn't do anything until we told you, and that's the problem. It's like, well, then what the fuck do you want? You know what I mean? Like that. And this goes back to what I've said in the past. And this is where it is. It's not even, I'm not trying to make this point of like, I'm not calling you on your bullshit. I'm asking literally as somebody who is trying to negotiate with somebody who is emotional terrorist in this point, because like you're affecting this person's fucking, this people's livelihoods.
Yeah. Over bullshit.
This is the issue. Is this, unfortunately, is the better of two evils in this scenario, in this reality right now, online especially, is the fact that like this is the thing, this is the saying, this is the protest. You can't do this. So either all of these bands could possibly face all these people contacting venues and saying, we're not going to go there, you're going to protest, we're going to do this, and affecting ticket sales, essentially, possibly, you know, or one band misses out on all these tours and all these dates and they still do that. But this is proving a point to me. This is proving a point. Now, Italian Pat's here. I'm doing all the voices today. Is the fact that now on this tour,
I'll get to a fucking point.
I literally am right now.
I'm just busting your balls. Shut up.
But there's the point of like, they have like, now this tour can be affected at any point if the mob decides like
that's the problem. You're setting. SeeYouSpaceCowboy is setting a really bad precedent, because
that's what they did. The band said, everybody said, you need to not be a band anymore because of the bass player. And they're like, well, bass player's gone. And they're like, well,
we're
so
still
now
really mad.
They're like, your tour is, so now it's showing, because one side is saying, what the fuck is going on? The other side is like, not good enough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's still going to be a problem. It's like,
you
would have these guys on. So like the argument is
no, that actually was a thing I saw a bunch of people saying. It's like, dude, it's crazy how these people are mentally. It's like, it's never good enough. You kick the band off, they go kick them off, and then they kick them off, and then go, let's talk about were they even there to begin with? And
right.
Like, shut the fuck up. It's like, I get so, I go, who the fuck are you? You really think you're fucking perfect? Like, go fuck yourself. You're all just the same. Like, we're all real human beings who fuck up. And in this instance, they didn't really fuck up. They had a shitty bassist and kicked him out.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of people that have the idea of what they want, but don't have any idea of how to like accomplish it. Except I think
they just been trained to like fucking complain and look
for
problems.
It's not just necessarily young people either. It's just the fact that like this is a mentality.
This is a certain way to be. Yes.
It's a team. It's just a team now. Like it's not. That's why it's not a generational thing. This
really not.
This is happening this year.
We've seen it happen to our friends, like people our age.
Yeah. And in like in a situation where even like we were like rolling our eyes, like of like, do you think this fucking matters to anybody? Like this is crazy. And it's a situation where you're like, and you're seeing a bunch of people just arguing over shit that like my argument has always been in this situation has been, okay, if this is what you're demanding, then once it's given to you, why is that not enough? Like, why is there something else? Why is it no problem can ever be corrected. It's a situation where one side is always right and one side is always wrong. And if you ever, but I don't understand this, Andy. If they eliminate this side, then who's the evil?
That's a here's the thing, Pat, because that's a No More Heroes conversation. If
Yeah.
you really want to get into it,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
it's like everything. It all comes down to commie bullshit. And
Yeah. It's just interesting. It's never good enough. Like you're not.
Yeah, it's a psychotic mentality.
You didn't solve the Tor problem, except for the fact that I think that more likely than not, the side that identifies with the "what the fuck are you guys doing" is like the "all right, I guess I'll go to the show." I was excited to see all these other bands. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we're the side that's going to call a venue to say I'm not coming because fucking Roman People's not on there. You know what I mean?
We're not dumb pussies. Yeah.
Right. So it's just gonna be like, all right, so we get one less band. That sucks. Like I'll listen to Roman Candle on my way to the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna tell anyone what to do because I also don't. I mean, I'm disappointed in SeeYouSpaceCowboy, but I'm also not gonna sit here and like encourage you to fucking if you want to go see them. I'm not gonna encourage you to like not go and take money out of SeeYouSpaceCowboy and Callous Cowboy's hands and shit like that. I would just say one. If this puts a bad taste in your mouth and you don't want to go, I don't blame you. And I also think too, like, I don't know, man, like, because a lot of these people too are just sheep. And like bands, if you just have a little bit of a backbone, like it truly won't hurt you in the long run. Like we were talking about Tillian earlier. Like I was on the fucking Dance Gavin Dance subreddit when all that shit was going down. Like everyone was like, what's everyone bitching about? Like they weren't talking about should we forgive him or not. They were talking about when he was coming back. And like we were joking earlier about Jesse Lacey from Brand New. And that stuff's like that stuff's like hard, like confirmed. Like he did that shit. And if Brand New announced a surprise show, that shit would be sold out by the end of the day. Yeah. Like, so it's not like this shit, like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's that treacherous to your career to have a fucking backbone, especially when it's the right decision to make.
Especially, yeah, when you can go, like, you should be able to, on a case-by-case basis, and it shouldn't be by how many negative reactions or retweets you've gotten or something like that. It should go by, okay, so what are they saying? Like I said, like legitimately, what are you protesting? Let me find out. Like, so what it is you don't like this band because they at one time employed somebody that you also didn't like.
Yeah.
Had not necessarily committed a crime. Like, right? It wasn't any conviction. Isn't that what you said? Like, it was just like they were just a shitty person.
I don't remember the specifics. I just know he was in a relationship where they would both probably beat each other up and shit.
Right. They domestically MMA'd. So like
they DV'd each other on the reg.
Right. They did that shit all the time. Yeah. So if they have that case, like, okay, and then they said, all right, you know what? We're out. Maybe they can claim ignorance or something like that. I don't know. But if that's the situation, you should, as SeeYouSpaceCowboy, say like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he solved the problem. You guys, are any of you guys DVers? And they're just like, nope. Okay, nope. Cool. You know,
we are sans DVers.
Then we're good. You know what I mean? And then that way, like, dude, you're like, so unless Roman Candle, the rest of them are also somewhat of dickheads or aren't likable for some reason.
Yeah.
Like I would hope that as artists, as fellow artists that are going out on the road and stuff like that, and you would support somebody who did the right thing. Who fixed, like, like say there was an issue or something like that, and you should go out there, because why else would you add them to the tour in the first place?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It just makes you guys look like fucking idiot pussies.
Yeah.
It also too, it's just like, it bums me out because like Roman Candles is actually like a very good band. Like they're I got into them after the initial controversy. I was like, oh shit, their bassist rules. Let me check out this band. No, and then also
music, but I love the message.
Take or leave the music. I'm just here for the message.
Yeah.
I will say also, just to end this out, just to keep it fair, Roman Candles did post this right after they got kicked off the tour. Sorry, I keep rubbing my nose. Allergies are fucking crazy. But yeah, they posted, I will speak my truth one last time. No one was shown a video of anyone abusing anyone. I, Piper, still almost 5 months later have not seen this video. The rumor that I saw a video of someone being abused has already been disproven multiple times, and the person who originally posted it went back on that accusation the same day. I am a victim of domestic violence. Our entire EP is about Jonah's and I's experience with domestic violence, and I would not condone that behavior anywhere near me, whether I was in a band or not. There is no abuser in our band. Stop calling us apologists when we acted immediately. We have done literally everything that could be done in the situation other than simply quit music, which is not happening. If you don't like our music, that's fine, but throwing things out there like they hang out with pedos, they essayed someone, sexual assaulted, with absolutely no proof or context. You could be able to say that full word on Rumble, lady.
Yeah.
To two people who are openly writing songs about having been through the same thing is disgusting and performative. False accusations do nothing but make it harder for actual victims to be taken seriously. We do this for us and no one else. There is not enough money or clout in this genre for me to have any other reason to continue on with this. I have fun dancing on stage and singing my little songs, and that's all this is about. This is Jonah's I version of therapy. I am eternally thankful for every person that resonates with our music and continues to support us and work with us. And yeah, I read that, and like going back to my original thing, it really just feels like a situation of the band. I don't even know if this is true. I'm just trying to put two and two together, and I go, people just might not like the band members personally, and they're kind of being dishonest with it.
About not having them on tour, like
about like all these fans wanting to like kick them off the tour and cancel them and all this shit. I think it might just be because I think I want to say the lead singer would, like I said before, would just be super opinionated and go off all the time on Twitter and shit like that. And, you know, you're in a genre where a lot of times you're not allowed to sort of step out of line with what the agreed upon opinion is. And people kind of get real fucking touchy if you do that.
Yeah. I just think it's like I think it's a situation where it's most likely, and this is purely speculation, not knowing anything about Roman Candle or anything like that. Andy's hiding.
Sorry, I just had to do some coke. No, I fucking, ever since I hurt my nose and then my fucking allergies have been acting up all week, it's felt like there is a booger in my nose that will not leave for the entire week, and I'm in literal hell.
Yeah, I kind of had that a little bit. I was actually picking my nose downstairs when you said you sent the link. So, but
that's why you said you're busy.
Yeah, I said I'm busy picking my nose. I sent you the finger because that's what was up my nose. But there is that is a thing. Like I think it's just, it could be that they most likely, because I think that's what it is. It's like, I think See You Space Cowboy would be like, look, those guys are kind of dickheads anyway. You know what I mean? Like they're like, we just needed somebody else to fill out the tour, help. Maybe
they were our last pick anyway.
Yeah, literally, like it's just all right. It's just easier. Hey, we each get a bigger cut of the money, or whatever. I don't know. Like it's not like I don't think it was necessarily that's the motivation for it, but there was just more value in them not being on the tour than them being on the tour. And I think that's purely what this was, which kind of sucks, but it's a business.
It was probably
the only way bands make money nowadays is merch and touring anyway. Yeah. So it's like you got nothing up. Like, dude.
No, I think that's
we're up, then you're out.
I think that's a good thing to point out, because I guarantee you from See You Space Cowboys end, a lot of it was just business. But unfortunately, because, and that's why I'm more trying to like come at the fans and stuff, because it's like, yeah, you're making business way harder and shittier for these bands because you're all irrational fucking assholes.
Yeah. And, and it's going to really, like, I hate to be the one that breaks this, but it's really going to fuck See You Space Cowboy up when people find out that they've actually never been to space or the Old West.
Not one of them are cowboys.
Not one single one of them has rooted or tooted whatsoever. They haven't even honky tonked. So they're once they find out to be frauds and they actually faked their space cowboyness, then they're going to be. It was actually they hired Stanley Kubrick to fake their
Stanley Kubrick. Oh, dude, that's so funny. Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing and See You Space Cowboy.
So yeah, I my overall thing is I will say that See You Space Cowboy should have a talking to, but also I just want to find out from them personally. So if they could call me at some point, just to let me know, like you can let me know. I'm not gonna share with anyone. Were they actually dickheads? Were they actually, not that they were all sexual assaulters or child abusers or something like that? Like,
Yeah. Hey, so
what
but
me?
you.
No,
Let's
shut up. Shut up.
I have to let me hit the bathroom real quick and then we can mosey on.
Don't hit it. Use it, you stupid idiot.
All right, I hate you.
All right. Well, I was, I every time I talk, hey, Pub Buddy's perfect. We have two different accounts of I don't know. I guess the first one is definitely more daunting. The Tillian one. I think that was a little bit more cut and dry, but this one is just a little bit kind of petty. I think that there's a thing with comedy that I've learned over the years. I used to think when in stand-up comedy that it was purely like you just got to be funny. All you have to do is just write funny stuff, perform it well, and that was it. And in a lot of cases, or in most cases, let's say, it's not just that. It's that plus a lot of other stuff. Even before like pandemic shit, or before everybody had to be like a producer, a fucking comic, an actor, a singer, somebody that can do music. It was something else. But I think bands are much like comics or any other performing or touring groups. Is you have to be the bare minimum is you have to be funny, you have to be good, or good at whatever the profession is, and you have to be likable. You have to be a good hang. Those are two of the things that I've heard, at least over the years, have been the most important. So I wouldn't suspect it'd be too different in that to be playing a part a little bit in this. I was just talking about the connections between the possibility of, like, how in comedy, like I used to think like, oh, it's just you got to be the funniest and that's it. You just write the funniest stuff, you just perform it. That's a huge element of it, but you find out later on,
wait, I have to be personable and have people like me?
you have to be likable, you have to be a good hang. So I wonder how much that does play into these.
It has to be almost the exact same. So in a way, because every comic you talk to, I've heard so many headliners on either podcast or in person or whatever. I've heard, and I agree with this statement. I would rather bring, if I was headlining, I would rather bring like a pretty good comic who's a fucking great hang over an amazing comic who sucks ass to be around. Right. Like if you were a 10 on your funny ability, but you had a 2 personality, I'd rather bring out the 6 or 7 with a 10 personality every single fucking time. And like, it's probably the same thing with bands and shit.
Yeah. I see Farwild in the chat asking about NoFX's Half album. I've kind of tried to not bring it up the past couple. I think it came out last Friday.
Yeah.
I have listened to it, but it really had very little effect on me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So since they've announced their retirement, like I feel like a lot of, and maybe even a little bit before that, I can't remember, because I remember their last release being very lackluster in my opinion. I really did.
The most okay album in the world.
Yeah, like that. It really kind of frustrated me, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's just perspective wise, or if there truly are. I just don't love this era, or if there really are just meant to be breaking up. But I really didn't love it. It had very little effect on me. It left like almost no impression on me, which is really interesting, because to some extent, whether I liked the album the first listen or not, especially with NoFX, there's something I can take away from it. And like I got so little from that. It was kind of depressing. Of like, it felt like, I wonder, is this them like proving like, look, we got nothing left in the tank, or is this like their most prolific shit? And I'm like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't necessarily. I want to give it a little bit more time. I want to give it a couple listens.
It's just tough because like NoFX is running into a very similar problem that Bad Religion runs into, being this deep in your career and still pumping out new music when your formula is so like NoFX and I've joked about it before, but I do genuinely really like NoFX. And
Yeah.
I was big into them in high school, but then at every release, you're like, yeah, you do a couple kind of slower ska songs.
Yeah.
You do a bunch of crazy fast, and it's like, dude, when half your fucking catalog is Buddha Buddha da Buddha Buddha da Buddha, it's like you can only do so many things with that. And once you're like fucking 20 albums in, how many different ways can you do a super fast punk song?
Yeah. So the First Stitch Effort, I remember I really loved. That was 2016. Single album was the one. Yeah, single album and half album. Or sorry. Oh damn. I don't even think yeah, see these, yeah, the anything with that cover on it. It's like the same single album, double album, and half album. All to me kind of are like, if this is their like last era or something like that, I'm kind of like, okay. You know what I mean? Like it's all of them have something a little bit, you know what I mean, in there, but it's like, but this particular release was just like, I just, it doesn't seem like you're saying that like they have this thing where they're like just writing no effect songs, or they're just writing this kind of same formula and everything. I really did feel like even in First Stitch Effort, there were like valuable stories being told, like fun songs, still serious songs, like rippers, like ones that were like, damn, like fuck yeah, like these just feel so, in my opinion, so phoned in from them that it doesn't even feel like they're right. It just feels like they're like, let's just write some songs. Like
I just know for me with punk rock music, it's like, you know, punk rock is honestly, if you're gonna try to be a more traditional punk rock band the way NoFX or like Bad Religion is or shit like that, you do honestly kind of pigeonhole yourself into some. It's the same reason if you get like. It's the same reason a lot of hardcore bands don't make it to a fifth or sixth album.
Yeah.
Because like hardcore, I've talked about it before, a lot of hardcore songs, you do a two-step part, then you throw in a breakdown, and then you do like a fast circle pit part. And you mix that in with the fact that you have to be heavy, and breakdowns are either like open chords or down on the low end of the fucking neck. You're limiting yourself musically with what you can do. Like, I don't know, like one of my favorite bands right now is Tsunami, but like I got to be honest, they do have kind of a thing that I'm like, you can't really do that past the third, fourth, fifth album.
Yeah, I think that's a Far Wild actually has a little clarification, which I think makes sense. It was all one recording session, from what I understand, just released. Oddly. Album was just a leftover. So I think that's what it is like whatever that session, maybe that session, they were like, oh, like we maybe, you know what I mean, like maybe they're like, oh, we don't really, maybe, you know what I mean, like that was the one, and they were like, okay, well, we're gonna get ready for this tour, and they're like, hey, let's make it big and let's make this like it, and because it doesn't, because this is okay, so this is my thing, right? We were just talking about it with a band, Every Time I Die
band? Oh, okay.
When we were talking about what Radical, and how like maybe in all of these scenarios, like these bands were like, this is it, like with Refused and The Shape of the Punk to Come or something like that, they were like, we're gonna break up after this. They all had like the plan or like the kind of energy of like, this is it, it's over, and they weren't successful necessarily at the time, and they just kind of, or actually Every Time I Die was, but like they kind of had nothing to lose. They had that mentality. I wonder if this is like a situation where NoFX was just like, it was posthumous after they had this recording session that they were like, maybe that's it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like this big idea of like, we gotta, and like when they're planning the tour for it, they're like, let's make the tour big, but the albums and stuff like that, they've just kind of like sputtered out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I honestly think there's a good chance you're right, but to that I would go, don't put out the album then.
Yeah.
It's kind of because there's a huge, because the music sounds like that's what happened, but then it's like, don't put out the fucking album.
Yeah, don't like have like an EP or something like that, or have them as like hidden tracks on something like later on, but just go like, you know what, guys, we're gonna do a anthology collection of all of
Mm-hmm.
the, but they've already done that a couple times. Like they've been around for so long. They've been around as long as, I think, if not longer than Slayer. And for them to have, and if I
They've been
may,
around. They've been around since like their first album's '88. So, oh yeah, they've been around since like '83.
yeah,
That's right. I remember reading that in the book. They went for a really long time without having a proper album.
and that's the thing. They have like, and legitimately, there's something that I love from the beginning until like 2016. But stuff since then has just been, it's been, you know, it's
Dude, and
really
not to sound
upsetting.
like a broken record, but I really do think it goes back to what I was saying before with the similarities of the like constrictions of hardcore. It's like
But they had such a good run. That's such a good run from 83 to 2016. That's like, that's taking that lack of
yeah, I don't know. I'm
come
well no, but even in there, like you're still gonna hit a lot of the same shit over and over again. Like I like No Effects, but they're a very repetitive band.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, no rebuttal here.
but
I
like
look like you were waiting for, like, you're like, oh, here he comes. He's gonna argue this.
but I go to that. I go. I'm like, that's not necessarily even a dig. It's just because like I remember I gave Jesus Piece, So Unknown. I was like, this is like album of the year for me. That's a very repetitive album, but that's my version of repetitive that I really fucking like. I just No Effects. Like when it comes to that style of punk rock, I personally need more variety. I don't. I prefer when it comes, if something's gonna be repetitive, I prefer like hardcore music. I can listen to that over and over again. When punk, I get bored of when it does that shit over and over again. So that's just more of it's not even like necessarily a dig. It's more of a personal preference. I also too I came in on War on Errorism, and I think that's a much more eclectic sound for No Effects than a lot of their other albums, and I think that also gave me maybe not the best perspective on what their general sound is.
We were talking about it earlier with Thrice, like the big leap that they had from Artist in the Ambulance to Visu. Like No Effects never had those big leaps in
Yeah.
like, in that stuff. So, but I like the creative things that they did do, like the fact that like there was storytelling songs, there was like classic-ish punk songs, there were like ones that were really poignant and actually did make you think, and then there's ones about like and then also like the collaborations they did, the split with Rancid. They've done the split they did with Frank Turner, the like any of the other shit. The Decline was so fucking cool at the time, and is still such a fucking great song. It's like they have this, like they have such a great history and stuff like that.
That's a great thing to point out too, because like they are lyrically, it's like Fat Mike's lyrical content does make a lot of their music.
He's got range. He really does.
It makes them substantially more interesting than a lot of punk bands.
But not only that, but they also have the fact that like they like the joke with them has always been these guys suck, or these guys are just like whatever, like nobody takes them seriously, and they're a joke and all this shit. But like they are so deeper than that. Like they have so much more like depth and range. Like I said, if you can be comedic but you can also be serious in the same album and have both of them be great fucking songs. And again, it's subjective. Obviously, it's coming from a biased point. I just feel like there can be genuine storytelling, messaging, everything like that in a serious song, a silly song, anything like that, and it can be a good. They write hits. They can write hits. These past couple ones, like, and I see Farwild bringing it up in the chat about like First Ditch Effort, the fact that, what was this, the 20 chords in each song keeps them fresh for me.
Is that accurate?
What?
They got 20 chords in a song?
Maybe it just means total, like not like they do have, like they have one, like, so they have very simple pop punky songs, you know what I mean, like bum, bum, ba, da, 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 like that shit. But then they also have ones where they're just like tearing up the whole guitar neck, great solos, all this other shit, where like I never thought that they sucked or were inexperienced. They always, to me, were cool, inventive.
Yeah, that's not
punk, you know what I mean?
That's definitely not an accurate description. It always just came back to, for me, it just always came back to they would get a little repetitive after a certain point for me.
Yeah, and I get that, and like,
But
and
they're all incredibly talented. Like you got to be really good at drums to play that fast. You got to be like the guitars definitely sound fucking locked in. I almost said Killer Mike. Fat Mike has some bass lines that you're like, God damn, he did all that with a fucking.
and like the
Like
thing
he has some bass lines that are pretty advanced for like a punk bassist. It's not like they're not good at their instruments. I just think it got a little, for me, it gets a little repetitive.
yeah, and that's the thing, and like, but also like the show of it and everything didn't feel like stale. So I appreciate, like, they're still great live. I saw them back in, I think, 2018. 2019. Sorry, I have the picture up there. 2019. I saw them, and the live show was still fucking incredible. But like, as far as their studio releases, it just started first ditch effort. Still felt like there were still like, it didn't feel like a Far Wild was saying that it was a little like phoned in feeling, but I kind of felt like there were still, even in that later release, they were still trying for new things. They were still taking those artistic leaps, whereas these past ones, and it makes a lot more sense now. It does sound like it's all just one phone, like just kind of one session that was just like, all right, we're doing this, and they're like, all right, well, yeah, we got the next couple albums, and then they're like, wait, what are we doing? Is this really what we're gonna do? We're gonna just like record, 32 songs, release it in 3 albums, and then just like tour. Like it probably felt really robotic at that time, and like I said, it's a great run, but also like you said, I think you made a great point. Don't put them out. Just don't put them out.
Yeah, it was, after listening to it, I was kind of like, that's kind of, not to sound dramatic, but it was a little wild they put those out.
Yeah,
because like we were making the joke. It sounds like not AFI, AI no effects.
That would be fucking awesome if it was, dude, AFI and no effects collab. Holy shit, that'd be fun.
AFI would be a good band to go through their catalog, because they were like a punk band, and then they did a hard turn to like emo goth,
Yeah,
but still stayed a really good band.
I'll write that down.
Because what's the album? Girls, is the album called Girls Not Gray?
I think it is. That sounds like such a lame name though, and I'm gonna feel bad if it is. Actually, I don't care. They don't listen. I know that they don't like us. Davey Havoc's not a big YouTube guy.
I just texted Davey Havoc. He's mad at you.
I know.
Oh yeah, Sing the Sorrow.
That's got worse.
Nothing wrong with that.
Little on the nose, guys.
I don't know. Sing the Sorrow's fine. I mean, we could go through a bunch of retarded no effects albums.
Hey, no, look. I was just about to say, like, I go the same way with Les Claypool a lot of times, where I'm like, all right, dude, sailing the seas of cheese, huh?
That's what always got me with Primus.
Yeah, we get it.
Because it's the same thing. I'm trying to think of a good example, because I was gonna say Eric Andre, but I do like a lot of what Eric Andre does, so he may not be the best example, but you see it a lot of time when people go overly weird with stuff.
Yeah,
and they always take it to a point where it's like so weird they're able to constantly pull the, well, you just don't get it, and you're like, no, I think because it's like what Primus, you're like, oh, like it some of the Primus shit, like, what's the one fucking song? Wait. What's the one fucking Primus song? It's like so and so's Big Fat Beaver or whatever the fuck, and you're like, that's just a song title for someone who thinks Cards Against Humanity is like a hardcore game.
Yeah,
and you're like, it's, I don't know. After a certain point, you're like, it just gets eye rolly. The music's great, but all the like names and visuals, you're like, all right, dude, you guys are exhausting.
This one's called Dr. Cinnamon's Donkey Honky Tonk. Boom, ding, 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 ding. And it's just like this. It's like it gets to this crazy point where
it's Mad Libs.
15. Yeah, it's just like scramble. It's just word scramble. And then at a certain point, they get to where they're just chanting some stupid shit over and over again. I swear to God, Spotify, there's 2 bands that fucking trigger me the most, that piss me off when they jump in my algorithm, and they're like,
you off, Pat?
They're like, Discover Weekly, you ever heard of Les Claypool and the Dolphin Pool? Like, nope, I don't care about this guy. What about Cheese Factory Head? And it just over and over again.
Yeah,
I'll listen to it because I'm open to it. I try, But then 15 minutes into them playing this fucking goofy ass circus music, I just like go, all right, and I like fucking thumbs it down.
Frank Zappa's a similar one for me.
Fugazi is the other band that I've been on. I've been on.
You always get suggested them.
It's just like I get it. I've heard them. I don't like it. I thumbs it down every time. Please stop. Please stop.
Frank Zappa. Yeah, Spotify needs to work on their algorithm. It kind of sucks ass sometimes.
Yeah,
Frank Zappa.
Primus is a sweet spot for me though. That's the one where I'm like, they're hits. I like them. I can get in and out. It's not too long. It's like we get enough fun sailing the seas of cheese, and then we get out. But like all of his side project shit is like enough. Stop it.
Yeah. When I hear stuff like sailing the seas of cheese, I go, you know that sucks ass, right? It's not clever and it's not quirky. It sucks ass.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, another one for me is fucking and I don't even like dislike his music, but every time I see each fucking iteration of his albums and shit, it's Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
Like I'm on his like fucking Wikipedia looking through his album. Like some of his albums, like Lumpy Gravy.
Yeah.
Uncle Meat. Hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
burnt weenie sandwich. You're like,
is that innuendo, Frank? You better not be doing that innuendo. That's not so slight.
Weasels ripped my flesh. And you're like,
yeah, weasels were big at that was like what time was that? Was it the 80s?
Yeah.
70s?
No, he was Zappa was big in the 60s and 70s, and then he kind of just Does
it say when he dies in there in the track listings?
He lasted for a while,
right? There's all these things where it's just like it when it's so silly and gross and weird and stuff like that. It's just like, again, Guar. It's in the character of the thing, but it's just like the Primus and shit like that. You're just like, I'm basically like a groovy hippie Willy Wonka, and I'm here to take you on a journey.
Yeah, it's right. I hate when it's like
play the song.
I just hate when it's like this is actually quirky and cool, and you're like, no, this is just kind of lame. It sucks.
You're like, I do enjoy the fun fact that everybody brings up though, is the fact that like, did you know that he auditioned for Metallica?
Yeah. Like, yeah, and then he probably started being like, blah, 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 and they were like, oh, we play actually cool metal, not whatever this fucking horseshit is.
Yeah, we go back to the good hang conversation we had earlier, and they're like, he probably walked in and fucking did a front somersault and like blew a party favor and went, hey guys, and threw glitter.
Well, and also according to this book I got, he might be a fucking MK Ultra CIA asset, so that sucks ass.
Les Claypool, really?
No, Frank. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I meant Frank Zappa. Sorry.
I was like, wait.
I thought we were still. I'm an idiot. Of course, Frank Zappa didn't try out for Metallica. Great googly. I remember that's what it was too. There was just my buddies were playing me this Frank Zappa album, and at one point he just goes, "Great googly moogly," and I go, "Fuck him." No, fuck you. You don't say "great googly moogly" in a song, and I take you seriously. Fuck you.
Yeah, this is not fun. We're not.
What was the other one? There's always that like legendary punk. No, you know how like there's bands that precede punk rock, and it'll like be like
and shit. Yeah.
What?
Like Iggy Pop and shit like that. Like
Iggy Pop. Yeah, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, the Velvet Underground, and then the other one they always bring up in England is they go Captain Beefheart, and I go, I don't want to listen to him.
Yeah, that's just a cool name if a punk band was named that, but he was a real person.
It just reminds me of like every dude who's like, I don't know. It's like the music equivalent of buying a T-shirt saying, sarcasm reloading T-shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, a graphic tee guy who's like, he's wearing a T-shirt that says "Ask me if I care," and he's just like. No. I'm also too. I think as a comedy nerd, I get really annoyed when it's like, no, you're not saying anything funny. You're just saying things that sound funny.
Yeah, like what I think you bring it up all the time. Way to buy an identity, you fucking dork.
Yeah,
you shithead. You're just gonna buy this thing that's just like I'm basically what this says. I'm this. They had this there at the store. I'm this size though.
Oh, the New York Dolls. Yeah, they were kind of a pre-punk band.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
I'm not even shitting on those bands. Like, they're probably good, but I got to be honest. Like, I was like, it's not my fault I haven't listened to Captain Beefheart yet, because fuck that name, dude.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's kind of a lot. Yeah, at least Gigi Allen. What was Gigi Allen? Wasn't his like the Murder Dolls or the?
He was a Nazi.
he was a shit-throwing Nazi. Remember, he
just ate poop.
But if let's say his name was like the Murder Junkie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that sounds like overkill, right? Actually, no, because they actually were murdering junkies.
Well,
right?
it's even on the they probably were. Even on the flip side, it's like when it's like with this is why I like Dying Fetus, is because Dying Fetus, when someone was like, hey, maybe consider a name change, and Dying Fetus tweeted him back being like, oh my God, wait, I never thought that calling our band Dying Fetus would make it less appealing to other people. It's just like, with Dying Fetus, you can be more honest, because they're like, there's something about like metal and hardcore and deathcore and shit like that, you can be more honest about it, but when it's like psychedelic hippie horse shit, you have to be like, no, you just don't get it. Here's what you got to do. Have you abused drugs yet? Oh, you just don't get it. You don't want to abuse drugs.
Yeah, yeah, you don't get it because you're not abusing drugs. Like, but I think there's also another thing with the other side of that. What you were saying about like the hippie bullshit, the end result. Dying Fetus, like, that's the name of their band because they like it. Like, they're not. I feel like overcompensating, and I feel like the hippie bullshit is overcompensating because that. Like, it's a stretch to listen to this shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas like there might be a stretch to listen to Dying Fetus, but like they don't give a shit if you like it or not. They're for Dying Fetus fans. So like where they're not, it doesn't seem like an act with Dying Fetus. It just seems like they just chose that name where you're like, oh no, is it crazy? Where they're just like, where Primus is going like, oh, welcome to Dr. Beaver's Spaghetti Farm. And they're like waiting for you to react because they're like, wasn't that wacky? Did you think that was wacky when I said Dr. B? Because
wait.
Is it innuendo?
Wait. Yo, Dr. Beaver's Spaghetti Farm?
Yeah.
None of those words go together.
Yeah, but I said them together, and then I'm gonna wear a top hat. Oh, you're just playing music. Oh, can you just play the music?
Yeah, dude. Primus fucking sucks. I didn't even think about it. Like, their music's great, but outside their music, Primus fucking sucks. Enough
with the stage show. I don't need the swirlies. I need the whirlies. Just play fucking Beaver song or whatever it is. Play the Beaver Spaghetti song.
But
I don't know it.
But yeah, the thing, and I think Primus was a band happy to not be mainstream.
Yeah.
So this might not be this isn't an applicable criticism to them. But the thing I like about Dying Fetus is you're almost like, well, that's not gonna help you get into mainstream stuff. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to. Like, we want it to hurt our chances of getting popular.
Yeah. And they're like, and then Primus is like, hey, we're on Conan tonight. Let's play spaghetti. Oh, let's do our Beefheart cover. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking artist way of like, how can we make this look more psychedelic on stage?
Let's also not take advantage of these great opportunities because we're cunts.
Yeah, whereas like Dying Fetus would never get those opportunities, but they would take it more seriously. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Here, so we got a little bit of time left. I know you had a little bit of pit police action.
Just a little light investigation. Honestly,
a little light case.
You know how every once in a while on Cops or something like that, they'll have like a blooper kind of like they'll have one where they're like, there was no misunderstanding, just a guy hanging out here. You know, he's working late and everything, and just like one of those things where you're like, false alarm. Not even a false alarm, but just one of those things of like, come on, man. This isn't our sensationalized fun footage. Like, this is just a real person. Let's head out.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to address Farwild's comment. Primus was great in the South. Yeah, Primus makes great music.
Yes, yeah, they're great.
The aesthetic is annoying and gay.
Yeah, I will be exclusively listening to them and only Primus. And like I said, that's the only version that I can take, because any other thing where you let Les Claypool have studio time, you got to have somebody there keeping him. He needs a handler.
It's the attitude that they had for children in the early 1900s.
Okay.
Best. Wait, no.
Seen and not heard.
The opposite of that. Heard and not seen.
Exactly. Heard and not seen.
Primus should be heard and not seen.
Yes. We'll keep it to that.
Yeah, that's why if anyone takes me to a Primus concert, I'm just doing this.
I'm going like,
I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
All those drugs you let me take, there's just going to waste because my eyes are closed.
I'm not seeing any of those visuals.
I am thinking a lot about my dad, though. He's dead. I think I see him. Am I dying?
I do want to watch that South Park concert. I've seen clips of it. It looks fucking sick.
Yeah, they rule as musicians, and even like there's a Oysterhead, the band Oysterhead. It's Trey Anastasio, it is Stuart Copeland, and it is Les Claypool. That super group Oysterhead, pretty crazy, pretty wacky. But also, like, I feel like with Stuart Copeland in the band, he's not going to put up with any of that bullshit from fucking Les Claypool. So, like, once he starts noodling enough, he's probably going to be like giving him those drummer signals where he's just like, let's move on.
You know what was always a funny tidbit I always read about Stuart Copeland?
Huh?
So, like, when he first started to play, he had a horrendous ability to like keep time properly. And so, like, they'd start at one tempo, and by the end of the song, they'd just be fast as shit. And, like, because you can't, you have to, like, build up the legend with all these musicians, so you can't, like, criticize them. And it's always, like, it was the thing they would always do with
That's pretty funny.
who's the dude from the Beatles? Ringo Starr.
Oh, damn. We got it. We both had it.
I mean, he's one of the most famous drummers in the world. It's not impressive in the slightest. I'm sorry.
I know a lot of Ringos.
You are a big Ringo head, just in general in life. But no, they would always be like, Ringo would actually play a right hand. He was left-handed, and he would play a right-handed drummer as a left-handed. So rather than starting with your right hand, he'd go with your left hand down the drums, and it would make it slightly different, but not that noticeably different. And that's what makes him so unique. And you're like, I mean, that's mildly interesting at best.
Yeah.
It like, dude, listen to the Beatles.
But
listen to the Beatles and tell me if you ever have a moment where you go, would you listen to that drum fill? Not once.
Right-handed person playing left-handed?
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I do think that sometimes when I listen to Meg White play drums. Take that, you fucking bitch. No, I think there's
Here's a fun thing about Meg White. She sucks ass, but that's actually good.
That's actually really good. Have you seen the sex tape? No, there's a funny thing with like any of these stories with like Stuart Copeland, like or Ringo or any of these other ones where they're like, did you know that when Jimmy Page started playing guitar, he wasn't very good? You're like, whoa. And then he practiced a lot and he got really good.
Did you know
that Stuart Copeland, when he started playing drums, was not great at keeping time, and he didn't even know all of the Police songs at that time?
Yeah, but
then they wrote them, and then he knew them.
But here's the thing. I really like the Police, so I've convinced myself that's a unique trait of his. Right. You know, he just played it's what every drummer does when you first start playing and you can't keep. That's why most drummers use a metronome when they play live. Right. Like, that's the reality. Most drummers use a click track because almost every single drummer, because you're having fun. You're in the heat of the moment. Yeah. I did it. Like, there's just one video I watch of myself from back in the day that, like, because I like watching the video of the band I'm in because we never actually recorded that song, but it was a really good song. And dude, you hear the song will start off, the guitar goes like ding 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 ding, and then when I come in with the drums, it immediately turns into because I played it too fucking fast. That's not like a quirky, unique thing that actually makes the song better. It's like, no, he just played too fucking fast.
Yeah, there was a time where he wasn't a professional musician. Did you know that? Oh, wow. Earlier recordings actually were not as good as their later recordings.
Oh,
yeah, these are all facts.
When he was younger, he was less good at certain things.
BT Dubs, Far Wild, pounding off of that last comment right there. I love that. We should do that.
Primus should be heard and not seen.
He wants that merch.
All right, so let's as we always say on this pod, Blue Lives Matter, and let's really get into why that's true. So
Right.
Pat sent me. I gotta be honest, Pat. This might be. Let's make it as big as possible.
Yeah.
Pause. This might be one of my favorite mosh videos ever.
Yeah, this is an all-timer right here.
It's an all-time. It's so funny, and it just you know what? We'll just play it, then we'll kind of dissect it. Here, wait. Let me get a little bit of juice on it. We'll let it. It's quick, so we'll let it play again.
This is Andy at the fucking tsunami.
That's me at Tsunami.
What am I doing?
Fuck this shit, dude. What the fuck am I doing?
That's the early time. Music.
Dude, it's so fucking good. You're like, dude, that's how I felt when I got punched in the head.
Yeah.
I was just like, God, God damn it, this sucks ass.
I like very simply could have, when you get that slow motion part, very easily could have dropped in the Curb Your Enthusiasm fucking outro right there. The fucking bum.
But
like,
dude,
it's just like, what am I doing?
Just the fucking slow defeated walk off is amazing.
The concussed walk off, you mean? Not where am I? It's what the fuck? What's going on? Where am I late for work? Like, that's a weird thing where like he's like thinking about a conversation he had with his wife earlier that day. He's finishing that conversation in his head, and he's going like, "What the fuck? Why is it so noisy here?" Like,
yeah, I see that came off more of him just being like, "What the fuck, man? I'm sick of this shit. This always happens."
Yeah, this is one of those things that they have. It is perfectly captured. I'm so glad. I think even the post says something about like they raised this much money for this charity and all this stuff, but like it doesn't look like he's actually seriously hurt. But it's one of those. You're right. One of those wake up call hits where you're like, that was too perfectly signed. He was down. I mean, it's like if this was a UFC fight, there would have been 3 more replays of that from 4 more angles. Like they would have done the telegrapher. They would have showed exactly what mistake he made that led him there. Like, I mean, it was just perfectly executed. That pit should have been at UFC 300. That's how perfect that was.
Yeah. Dude, and I'll say it again, nothing better than because he's mid in like, and then they get kicked and just stand up straight and slowly walk out.
Yeah,
it is because that's what happened to me when I got hit. You're like in the moment being like, I'm a hardcore guy. Yeah, I'm doing the hardcore dance, and you just get hit, and you're like, this fucking sucks, dude. Why are we doing this?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Tonye actually had some
breaking news from the chat.
Breaking news in the chat. This is really funny.
This is from the Dragon News Street Team. We appreciate it. Tonye saying, what is it, Andy? Do you have the update?
That famous What the Fuck Is Up Denny's band Live Without.
Yeah, which the band that you knew that name before even looking it up.
I actually did.
I know.
And it doesn't give me cool points. I'm just saying I did. Famous for the What the Fuck Is Up Denny's moment band Live Without, and who, after Blink-182, you fucking
I'm brushing my cat.
You brushing your cat? Anyway,
I can multitask.
You clearly can. I can't. You can. But anyway, famous What the Fuck Is Up Denny's band and recently famous band in response to Blink-182 co-opting the What the Fuck Is Up Denny's moment, famously having a bit of an online, I'll say it kindly, explosion of feelings in a bit of a, some would say dramatic, I would never say that, some would say a dramatic way, an explosion of feelings, is now reportedly, going on tour with Blink-182.
Very interesting.
You fucking dickheads. I'm sorry. I'm happy for him. Make some fucking money.
Yeah.
But I hope you made enough room to swallow all your fucking pride. You dickheads.
Yeah. Guess what? Yeah. Guess what? The running joke on tour is going to be, hey, you remember when you guys were talking all that shit about us? I've been out there opening up this stadium, this arena for us, motherfucker. Oh yeah, we're at Wembley, you fucking dickheads.
And the best part, dude, they're gonna meet Blink, and Blink's gonna be so fucking nice and cool and real generous. They're gonna get paid so well. They're gonna be a fun hang.
If you
Travis
guys
might let him.
Here's my number. You can call me anytime. Like honestly, dude, it's one of those things of like when we saw that, we were just so upset. We didn't know what to do. So we're just happy that we can make it right. And honestly, you guys deserve this. You guys really deserve to be here. Oh, what?
Wait, what? Oh shit. We got cranky because we didn't capitalize on such an easy money making opportunity for 10 fucking years.
Yeah, man. Sorry, dude. Like there was somebody dropped the ball. Actually, that was our plan. We were gonna release this video, and when we released the video, somebody was supposed to reach out to you guys, but somebody didn't. There was a miscommunication, and honestly, this was supposed to be the plan the whole time, and you guys were never supposed to be meant to feel that way. And honestly, we're really sorry that we felt that way. You guys don't have to worry about taking it down or anything. You don't have to apologize for anything. And actually, we wanted to make it right for you guys. So we also got you guys a new tour van. Don't worry about the taxes or anything like that.
We all got you a year supply of free Denny's.
A life. We talked to the CEO of Denny's. We got you guys a fucking a lifetime supply of Denny's anywhere you want, all over the country, all over the world, anywhere there's Denny's. You guys are always gonna know what the fuck is up. Don't worry. So,
bro, that's so fucking funny.
And like every time they're just doing that, they're like little fucking energy vampires. They're just fucking sucking these kids for sadness, dude.
Dude, I said it before. Because Blink's gonna be so cool. Because they just seem like fun guys to hang out with. Yeah, they seem like they're probably rich celebrities and everything. But on a person to person basis, they seem chill, and they're just gonna be so nice to them.
But like they're chill dudes that have like connections and like they're like essentially like think about like how Shane is with like a lot of the guys, like a lot of comics and stuff like that. Like they're probably like, hey man, we were in a situation like this and we know how it's like out there to struggle and you're really talented. We love that. Like, dude, we looked you guys up when we saw that video. I remember like I showed that video to everybody. We were probably bigger fans of you than you guys are of us. Like we thought that was great. You know, that was one of the first videos I ever remember sharing online. You know, so like,
yeah,
it's probably a situation where like they're happy to rub their face into it in it a little bit. And honestly, they kind of deserve it because
100%.
If I remember correctly, I think I remember suggesting this of saying like, you got to at least offer to take them on tour or something. And I bet there was some kind of thing of like, let's see how they react, or let's make them sweat a little bit, or maybe somebody dropped the ball, or this is just them quote making it right, but they really didn't have to do this. But this is.
I don't even know how much it is of like making it right. It's like you don't own, like you did it and then you did nothing to capitalize. You did the what the fuck is up, Denny's. Then you did nothing to capitalize on it forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I think they made some shirts here and there, but like, let's be real. Like you didn't really do much to capitalize on it.
Let's just say, even if you did, you had plenty of time to do something with it.
Yeah, and then Blink-182, while we did admit it was sort of cringy on its face that Blink-182 did it, but at the end of the day, it's like you don't own it, you know, and it is kind of a meme at this point. But yeah, at the end of it, just as a man who loves to laugh and loves irony and loves all this stuff, the fact that they got backed into a corner, because it is also like, how do you not say yes to that?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, even if the moment after they posted it, or even if they said like they're going to send you a cease and desist or something, like doesn't matter. Once this offer is on the table, you all turn into fucking Matt Skiba. Yep.
Yeah, it's like no, it goes back to I what the fuck? I remember when Lemaire was doing some shooting range shit, and he posted a picture with Goldberg, and I was joking about that because I was like so hyped for Lemaire because he got to meet Goldberg. I hate Goldberg as a wrestler. I think he sucks ass. I think he's a bad wrestler. He's not a good wrestler. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, dude. I'm gonna keep it a buck. If Goldberg was here and I'd be like, is that Goldberg? He's like it's like it's that.
Goldberg
What?
was the spear guy. He was the bald spear guy, right?
Yeah. He did this. He's just a bad wrestler. But regardless,
I was
you
mean like skill wise, like because I was like, wait, wasn't he one of the most? I know who he is, like, and I like, but you mean like he's bad at wrestling. You mean?
Yeah, he sucks ass.
Okay, so I was like character wise, he was really lame too. Like he was just like,
yeah, because they always not to go into just in general, not to go into like wrestling too deep, but it's a thing of like just fucking dumbass fans are constantly like, yeah, we love Goldberg, but like if you actually give a fuck about wrestling and shit, you're like all of his matches suck dick. But but so I still get the fact that it's like you can't say no the same way I would still ask for a picture with Goldberg. I'd still be a fucking phony and ask for a picture with Goldberg.
I would be in a picture with Goldberg. I don't know if I would ask for one. Like, but if it was like a group thing, if you're like, hey everybody, let's get it. Like, I wouldn't notice the significance, but I don't know.
I wouldn't awkwardly seek him out, but if the opportunity arised, I would get a picture with Goldberg, no questions asked. But yeah, this is thank you, Tony, for bringing this to our attention. This is
appreciate it. And
incredibly funny.
Question: the band that I was in was AC/DC.
Yeah. Can I say something about AC/DC?
Go for it.
I played. It was a while ago, but I remember because I spent so much time shitting on AC/DC, and I remember I was like, I feel like you don't listen to them enough to shit on this much. I started to realize I was kind of like going with the trend of like shitting on them. I gotta be honest, like they're a little repetitive, but like good sound.
I feel like the same
really play them through your car speaker. Good, solid guitar sound.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Kiss. I shit on Kiss a lot, but I really only know like the hits. And from what I've heard, there's like some of their music, like because like I kind of defend Guar in the same way, where I'm like they're not just the costume band, like their music actually kind of rules.
Yeah.
But there's situations where like I understand people being kind of pushed away from it, but I've been thinking about that with Kiss and Black Sabbath. They're two. Black Sabbath I don't think I hate, but I don't necessarily see the appeal in it, or like I have the thought where like you said like they kind of suck. But I'm like, I don't think they do. I think they're actually probably really good. And
Black Sabbath's pretty good.
Like I know the hits. I know some of the stuff like that, and I like those. But I'm like, yeah. Other than that, they're probably not. I don't know anything about them. That's all.
You know what the problem with Black Sabbath is? Usually, the guy who really pushes Black Sabbath on you, that's like the fifth band he's ever heard.
Yeah,
and you're like, you gotta calm down, bro.
It seems like what we always talk about with like,
but they're still great.
Yeah. Sorry. No. I think you're making the same point of like it feels like kind of like the Beatles thing where you're like, oh, you like Black Sabbath, but it's also like I don't know a lot about them to say that, so like I should check them out. See that, guys? You're never too old to learn, and maybe sometimes you just need to admit you don't know something, and you need to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, if you're catching them vibes, hit subscribe.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We're
gonna get that little notification.
I am.
Hey guys,
ritually suicide Pat, and then we're gonna
get out of here.
I would love it if I could hit a button and just fire appears around you.
Gay guys,
DM me. DM me, gay guys. All right, guys.
Pictures of boobs. Bye.
Thank you for hanging out. We love you all. Until next time, just keep your penises really hard. For an entire week.
What?
For a whole week.
The whole time?
Yeah, I want you guys to edge till we see again.
Guys, please edge until next time.
Fuck yeah. Later, guys.